I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes here. So you have this iliac aneurysm rupture, and then you get that repaired and don't think there might be anything else going on, and then your aorta dissects like in a major way, and you have emergency surgery for that, and they test you for VEDS, and then you get the result back 2 days before you're supposed to have another surgery, and then you have a blood clot. Like, how are you feeling in all of this? That's crazy.
It's funny the way, the way the mind copes with these, you're always kind of, when you're in it, you're really just worried about like, what's the next thing? When are we gonna do this surgery? You know, what's my blood pressure today? That sort of thing. So when you're in it, you're just really dealing with it. There isn't really a time to sit back and look at it from 30,000 feet and go, wow, this is happening. Um, I was very fortunate that, my wife, her response to all of this was to to solve problems. Like, she had a binder this big with all my medical results. She was talking to doctors. She would not miss a doctor on rounds. She was advocating for me constantly, to the point that, there would be times when, a nurse would come in maybe to give me a medication that the doctor had said, we're not doing that, and it hadn't made it into the chart. She was catching things. Doctors would say to her, are you in the medical field? And she's like, no, just, been doing this for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that, and you're also, when you're post-operative and you're on oxycodone or whatever, and, you're kind of not exactly keeping track of time, all the time. So I can't say that, like, I was in the hospital 3 to 3.5 weeks or something after that. It didn't seem like I was sitting around bored. I was constantly sort of in this, you know, state of emergency.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing was, each time, really with the VEDS diagnosis, I had no group. I didn't know what that meant. All I had was Google at that point. I really was kind of like, well, once I get this surgery done, I'll be fine. After that, after we fix that, I was like, I'm a car. Like, once we get the alternator fixed, everything is going to work fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I wasn't really thinking, long term. Like, I wasn't, I was just hoping, for my next birthday, honestly. You kind of start to ask for less from life when you're in that situation. It's later on that you get a little greedy, and wish for more.
So when did it really hit you? Like when were you able to take that 30,000 foot look?
I would say, it kind of came on slowly. Once I was home, one thing I didn't mention was when I had my open heart surgery, my left laryngeal nerve was damaged or bruised or paralyzed or something. So my
Mm-hmm.
left vocal cord no longer worked. So I had no voice whatsoever. All I could do was sort of this raspy whisper. And so for all that time after my open heart surgery, for about 6 months, I had no voice. So my medical condition was like really front and center all the time, like not being able to talk. I'd pull up to a drive through and forget, they're not gonna be able to hear me,
Oh
you
no.
know. My kids, I had like little, like I carried a whistle, like so I could make a loud noise if I needed to. I had that. I had an injection into my damaged vocal cord, which now says, "Hey, you're talking about me now. I'm gonna start getting weak on you," so that I could speak again. And that, you know, so after that, it was kind of like, well, now I sound normal. I'm walking around. I'm getting around. It was kind of then that it started to all set in. What does this mean? I started to see a vascular MD at Cleveland Clinic. I saw a geneticist. I got on like the Facebook groups
Mm-hmm.
and started to commiserate with other people. And I started to realize, okay, now I know what this is. Here's how we tackle this. Every 6 months, I'm going for scans. I'm taking a blood pressure medication. You know, all of those things. I have restrictions on my activities. it was probably, 6 months to a year before I really started to go, okay, what does life look like and how do I prolong it? And, you know, what does it mean for the rest of my life?